Hey guys, welcome to day 8. Today I want to talk about objections. Objections is huge. It's a big part of our business. There's a lot that you're going to deal with, so I wanted to share the most common objections and how you can deal with them. I have my little monkey over here. You okay? Okay, so the most common ones, you have emotional. Emotional is maybe fear or trust. Maybe they don't know you very well. They don't know. I've had people say, "Is this a scam?" Or I'm not sure what this is. Or people that are fearful. They're like, "I don't think I would make a good coach because I'm shy, or I don't have a lot of friends on social media, etc." You have logical, which is more about the product. So maybe they're unsure about the products that the company offers. Maybe they've never done a program. They're unsure about the meal plans, Shakeology, or the product line. Somewhere in there, they just haven't used them, so they aren't fully trusting of what they are, or if they work, or if they can promote them. Lastly, situational. So this is really common. Money, they don't have money, they don't have time to do this, or too busy, etc. So these are probably the most common objections. I know for me, it's usually time and money that is the biggest objection. So when you talk to people, there's a lot of ways to go about this. You can easily share your story. So part of what I've told you guys is when you post on social media, you need to be sharing pieces of your story. So where you were before you got started, what was your thought process when you were thinking about joining coaching? What did you want to benefit from that? He's counting. He's so good. But what did you want to earn from it? What appealed to you? What struggles did you have when you started? What reservations did you have? There's a lot of things, about your story that you could really help somebody else with, or that you could relate to somebody else with. So when you invite people, maybe you have people that don't even answer you. And like I've told you before in the previous videos, it's about planting seeds. So when you plant those seeds, which are the initial invites, then you water them. You post on social media about your progress, your day, your transformation, your shakes, your meal plan, how you feel, how the business has helped you, income, whatever it is. You're posting about that, which is watering those seeds, okay? So as you water those seeds, what I want you to remember is those conversations that you have had with people, and maybe they have objections, such as any of the ones that I've listed before. I want you to address those in your posts. So I want you guys to talk about, if you didn't have money when you started, but you did it anyway, and now where are you now, okay? So they can relate to you that way. For myself, we didn't have much money at all. We were really, really struggling because we went from 2 incomes to 1 when we had my son, and I decided to stay home. So me and my husband had to cut back, but where we live is so expensive. We just didn't really realize how much extra we need to bring in to make it to where we were living comfortably, and not pinching pennies. Because when you pinch pennies and then you have things happen and things come up, where does that money come from? How on earth do you pay for things that you didn't expect to come, right? When you're already not able to do anything extra because of your bills. So for us, it was about, at first I struggled with even coaching because I didn't want to spend the money on myself, even though I knew I would follow it and I would do it, and I would benefit from it at the very base level of at least getting myself in shape and feeling better. But the business part I was nervous about because I didn't know anybody who did it. I didn't know if it was real. I had no idea how hard it would be, or time consuming, or I didn't know any of that stuff, right? I'd already used some of their programs and stuff, which I was comfortable with, but the whole coaching part I was nervous about. So when I did that, and I talk about my story because when I started, that's where I was. But even within 6 months, my first month I earned back my initial investment, and then each month after that I continued to build it. So myself personally, the amount that I worked directly reflected on my income. So I worked really hard to build it pretty quickly. So by 6 months, I could make 4 figures, and that was me personally, okay? Because I put in the work to get there, and that's what depends on everybody, is the work. If people work, they work consistently. If they work well, then if they're willing to learn and adapt, then they'll be awesome. And that's something you can share too, because for me, from month 0 when I was making absolutely nothing and struggling and thinking about going back to work and sticking my son in daycare, to 6 months later, making more than I was at my job before I quit, and staying home with him, not having to pay for daycare at all. So getting all of that gross income to put towards bills and Christmas, and if the car had problems or whatever the case may be, those extra things, that completely changed everything for me. Okay, that changed our, like my mood. I was happy because I'd lost the weight anyways, but being able to contribute financially and not being so stressed about stuff like that was incredible. So different things like that, even if you've only made $50 and you're like, for me, that's more than a tank of gas. That's more than utilities. That's almost a week's worth of groceries. I spent $86 on groceries. So that's a big deal. My first paycheck was $15, and I was super excited about that because I earned it, right? And then my second paycheck was $86, and I was like, heck yes, $86. Like, that's almost like a whole week's worth of groceries. Or I could go out to Target and get myself a new outfit, or whatever the case may be. Just having that little extra was super nice, right? So share those little things, even if it's something as small as that. There might be somebody out there who's struggling to even put gas in their car at $25, right? So that's what we do. We share. And when you share pieces of your life, that's when people relate to you most. You might look at a top coach and say, they have a six-figure business. They're super awesome at posting on social media. They always have the best pictures and the best sayings, and they talk about the best stuff. When they first started, maybe they didn't even have a social media. Maybe they didn't have any friends. They weren't active. They didn't like it. Maybe they didn't know how to even take a picture. Maybe they didn't even have good picture phones when they started, right? So it's not about how good you are, or just being naturally good at this kind of stuff, because I don't think I am. It's about adapting, okay, and learning how to handle objections and learning how to invite and be consistent, because it's not about if it's working. For me, when I was doing Power of Threes, yeah, it was working. It was, Success Club 5 or so. But once I upped that number, I wanted Success Club 10 at minimum. And then I wanted Success Club in my husband's business. I wanted both of that consistently. And I knew I had to kind of throw myself into it and figure out how I got there. I didn't know how many I needed to invite to make sure I hit those numbers. So I went up to Power of 10, Power of 20. And then I hit it consistently, and I was like, okay, this is where I need to be minimum. And if I want more, I need to invite more, okay? It's not about, oh, it's not working, I'm inviting a lot of people, and it's not working. And you'll get there. You'll get that groove. So handling objections really is about you relating to people, okay? Just being relatable. So everybody's going to take their own time to process things. That's just how it works. But when you talk to people about these different struggles, relate to yourself. Say, I totally understand. I was there. I understand where you're at. And I get it. And leave it at that. If they still don't want to do it, they just need time to watch you. That's all. Because it's really easy to see or to hear things. But then once you see it, actions speak louder than words. When they see you changing, your personality changing because you're happier, maybe bringing in some income that's really helping you, those things can really show people that it's working, and they can build that relationship and that trust. So objections are okay, and they're going to happen all of the time, but make sure to be open about them, the conversations. Talk about them in the private message. Talk about them on your posts. When you have 10 people in a week say, I have no money, I don't have money to do this, or I would not be a good coach because I'm shy. I'm a shy person. Believe it or not, I'm a very shy person. You can ask anybody in school. I'm shy. So when I first started, I was so afraid of posting. I was afraid of judgment. I was afraid of what people would think. I was afraid of all of those things. I was afraid to post pictures, transformations. I'm a private person. But, growth comes from getting out of your comfort zone. I was willing to learn because I really wanted this to work. So as I did, that's where the success came, was me getting out of my comfort zone and listening and being coachable and teachable by my upline. So that's what I did. And I actually would seek out training. I would look at it and I would say, yeah, this is what I need to help with. And this is how I need to adapt. This is the way I need to look at things. So there's resources out there. But back to the point. Objections you're going to get. That's okay. Okay? It doesn't mean you're doing anything bad. Just make sure you're relaying value. When you talk about money, when they talk about money, make sure that you're relaying the value of all that they're getting. I used to pay $75 for gym membership, $120 for training and some nutrition help, and then supplements. I spent almost $300 a month on those things, whereas the annual pass is $160 a year. So it's like a lot cheaper. I can do it from anywhere, and it's a very balanced diet, and everything else. It's just great. It's something that can suit anybody. They can take workouts to the gym. They can take worksheets to the gym. They can work out in the park. They can work out in their house. They can work out when they're traveling. They can do anything if they want to. It's totally up to them, right? We have all of that available for them. And when you talk about time is another one. Sometimes people assume that you work, depending on you. Like, I know myself, I'll probably work 2 to 3 hours a day, sometimes 4. But that's what I do to make the income that I make. Whereas if somebody just wants an extra $100, then they could just spare an extra hour a night, do a power hour and be good, or 30 minutes. I started out at 15 minutes, then I worked my way up. It just depends on your goals. So when somebody talks about that, if they want to quit their job and they want to leave their job and make this full-time income, perfect, but they got to work hard. They need to know that this isn't an easy job. It's simple tasks, but it's not easy to discipline yourself to do them, if that makes sense, because there's nobody here to make you do it. But when you talk about those types of things, make sure you relay the value when they're talking about money, because it is a very valuable and it's very cheap for what they're getting, right? And it's a complete plan. It's the whole system. And the best thing that you can do for your business, the absolute best thing to build trust and belief, is to follow a program with, exactly, do the calendar, the meal plan, and Shakeology. And whatever your results are, you share that, because they know you, they see you, they want the authentic you. It's easy to pull pictures off the internet of 21-day fix results and this and that, but it's not as relatable because it's not you. So if you post your results with the whole system, they're going to say, what are you doing? Like, I want info, what are you doing? Then you can say, this is exactly what I did. I followed this workout calendar, I followed this meal plan with this specific program, and then I drank Shakeology once a day. That is exactly what I did. And when they're like, I don't know about Shakeology or the meal plan or this or that, and say, this is exactly how I got results. If you wanted to know, if you wanted this info, you wanted to know how I got from point A to point B, all I can do is I can tell you exactly what I did to get there, because I'm not a coach, I'm not a nutritionist, you are a coach, but not a personal trainer. You're not educated in these specific areas, right? So you just share what works for you. So that is the number one way to build trust, okay? Especially trust in the situational, in the logical, and in the emotional. In all of those categories, I feel like that is the one way to build that, so that you are more authentic to people, okay? And it's good for you. It's good for your business. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. What I want you to do is I want you to post below an objection that you're having troubles with, or an objection that you talked to or answered perfectly that you wanted to share. Okay, bye guys.